Good morning. See a bit more of the Buddha. Good morning, Carol and Laura. Good to see you. And Sean. Good morning, Sean. A wet December, late December morning out there. Still dark. Ugh. Roll on. Well, we're on the downward stretch now, aren't we, towards spring after yesterday. Still quite a long way to go, but it sounds good. It's something to look forward to. Good morning, Sarah and Panda. Good to see you all. The light starts coming back now, but not this morning. Yeah. So this is our last but one. I'm here again tomorrow with mindfulness of breathing, and then we're taking a break over the holidays. Back on Monday the 4th at 7 o'clock, so that we can catch those people who have to take the children to school and are very busy by the time it gets to 8 o'clock. So this is just to make it easier for them. And if you can't make 7 o'clock, then of course there's always the recordings. Yeah. If you're in York, our shop is open today. I was in there yesterday. We had quite a busy day. It's lovely. So if you're in York and you want some last minute presents, then just try our shop on Gilligate at the Buddhist Centre. And it'll be closed tomorrow, so today's your last day, and then it's closed until I think Thursday the 7th of January. So we're having a break. Thank you, Sean. That's very nice of you. I certainly intend to. I've got about 8 or 9 days lined up with nothing at all to do, which is great, isn't it? I hope you're going to have a good break. Good morning, Philippa. And your lovely sunflower. Oh, morning, Sagrabala. Oh, how nice to see you. Hope you're well. Keep meaning to. I will ring you. We'll text you about ringing at some point. Because now we're getting to our less busy time. I hope that's true for everybody and that you're going to be able to have a really good holiday season, whatever you call it, whether it's Christmas or whatever. And it's 8 o'clock. Good morning, Chris. Good to see you too. Good to see you all. So lovely. Okay, well, this morning we're going to do self-care meditation, of course. It's a Wednesday, and we shall be carrying on doing this in the new year on a Wednesday. And we'll be doing self-care in a slightly different way on a Tuesday and a Thursday. We'll be doing it through the mindfulness of breathing, but that too can be about care for self and other. So we're just going to try and angle it a little bit more towards, in these times, towards a bit of care and attention to ourselves and other people in the new year. But for today, it's self-care for us in the normal way. Good morning, Zara. Thank you, Sarah. Nice to say that. So I've got a poem. But before I read the poem, I just wanted to say something about how we are in the world. As human beings, it's quite natural that we want to be happy. Of course we do. Of course we want to be happy. And we have this kind of idea that to be happy, we need to get all the things that we like lined up in a row and avoid all the things that we don't like. So if we can live our lives with pleasurable experiences and avoid unpleasurable experiences, then we will be happy. Sounds really, really good in theory, but actually it's rubbish. Well, it works to a certain extent, doesn't it? It does work to a certain extent. We get nice things and they cheer us up. We have a nice meal, or we meet up with a dear friend and we feel better. So it does work to some extent, but it doesn't work very effectively over the length of time. So what do we do if we can't rely on that to make us happy, which is our normal strategy? What do we do? Well, the Buddha says that actually this chasing after happiness, it doesn't work because it creates dukkha, or suffering. And suffering is the fact that we just can't control the world in the way we'd like to. I know that. I spent 65 years trying to do it and it didn't work. So it's okay having pleasure. There's nothing wrong with pleasure. It's okay avoiding things that we don't particularly like doing, as long as we can avoid them. But actually we can only do that to a limited extent. So in the end, the way to happiness is just acceptance. Just to stop doing that, really. To just accept that, well, this moment is okay, or this moment is really nice, or this moment is really uncomfortable and painful, and to be kind about that, and to just exert love and compassion, just to cultivate love and compassion towards the world, but towards ourselves, so that when we're going through a bad patch, we just give ourselves love. We stand by ourselves. We support ourselves, rather than what we normally do, which is using the same strategy, trying to get rid of the parts we don't like and the feelings we don't like, and trying to hang on to the things that about ourselves and about our experience that we do like. So we just need to accept ourselves as we are, messy, good bits and bad bits, and that's how human beings are, and it's okay. So, can we do that? Of course, it's quite hard. So that's what this practice is about. We do need to keep reminding ourselves that we just need to be here for ourselves. Just be here, whether it's really lovely or whether it's pretty horrible. And if we can do that with kindness and love and awareness, then we will begin to find contentment. Anyway, that's enough from me. But that's the theme anyway. So this is a poem called Love After Love by Derek Walcott, which Paul Carey, who meditates with us on the morning from time to time, he posted this on Facebook, and I think it's lovely. I'm just reading Sean's comment. I'm happy seeing people and helping others, as belonging mean nothing, and I'm never jealous of others' belongings, which is a bonus. Well, that's good. So reaching out to other people and having gratitude for other people helps us as well. You're quite right, Sean. It makes us feel better. Anyway, so this poem is called Love After Love. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you. To the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf and the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. So I think what Derek Walcott is saying there is that let's see the real us, not this person that we would like to be in our fantasies. Let's really come to terms with the real messy being that we are and love it. Just love it for what it is, because we're all doing our best, and all we need is a little more love for ourselves, and then lots of good stuff comes from that. Okay, so let's begin. Just make sure you're comfortable. You might be lying in bed or on the floor or sitting on a chair or a cushion. Just make sure you're feeling relaxed and comfortable, as alert as you can be. If you're a little bit sleepy, you could, if you're sitting, just lift up a little bit, like your head's being pulled by a golden thread. And if you're lying on the bed and you fall asleep, well, that's okay. That's self-care as well. Okay. So first of all, just taking stock, as we always do at this time in the morning. Just how are you this morning? Mentally, emotionally, and physically. So you might be feeling very good in all those three ways, or you might be feeling pretty awful, or somewhere in between. So however you are, just remembering that it's all right, reminding yourself that it's okay to feel a bit grotty. It's okay to feel upset, or resentful or angry. It's okay to feel happy and joyful. It's just the way we are in this moment, and it changes all the time. What matters a lot is how we act on that, on those feelings. So, we can be angry or upset, but what we have to try and do is to deal kindly with that anger or upset, or the joy and the happiness. Not get carried away in either direction. Just being with whatever is there with a sense of awareness and kindness and acceptance. Now just feeling the presence of our bodies, lying or sitting, the contact with whatever we're lying or sitting on, and the weight of our bodies being held by gravity, being held by the earth ultimately, and just allowing ourselves to be held like that, to be loved by the earth, to be held in the earth's kindly kindliness, the earth's acceptance. Just noticing the sensations in the body. Whatever they're like, pleasant or unpleasant, just being with the physical sensations. There might be achiness, there might be a sense of comfort, sense of warmth, tingling, aliveness, sluggishness, whatever it is, just noticing with kindly acceptance. Just valuing ourselves as much as we can, the whole of our messy selves. Bringing our attention now to the heart center, just below the bottom of the rib cage, in the middle of the chest. Our tender spot, our soft spot. And allowing that, our hearts to open as wide as we can, as wide as they will, not forcing anything. Maybe thinking of someone you love, that usually helps. Just opening our hearts to the world and to ourselves. And then just reflecting on the way we see ourselves. Just a matter of habit in a way. The way we regard ourselves. We're just trying to be happy when we criticize ourselves or feel ashamed or embarrassed, or when we are dissatisfied with the way we look or the way we act or our reactions. It's part of this strategy to try and be happy, to mold ourselves to what we think we ought to be like. But actually, can we drop that? Can we be who we are? We don't have to be like anything. We just have to be. And that's perfectly good enough. So just having an appreciation of this messy thing we call ourselves. If it was a good friend, you would probably say it was okay to be how you are. If it was a small child, you would reassure them that they're okay, however they are. We don't have to meet some kind of standard of perfection. We just have to let the soft tissue of ourselves be what it is. As Mary Oliver would say. Just let our soft, imperfect selves be what they are and love them for what they are. In the end, it's all we have. So we're going to need help on this journey of self-acceptance. So can we give ourselves that help? Can we be our own best friend? Can we stand back a little from the upset and the criticism and the fear and the sense of dissatisfaction? Can we stand back and see it for what it is? And allow this part of us that is standing back to give us a sense of acceptance and love and perspective, just like a good friend would. Can we support ourselves? Can we reassure ourselves? Can we love ourselves as our own best friend? Always there, always ready, always kind. And when our minds begin telling us things, when thoughts, negative thoughts arise, can the good friend in us just see them for what they are and let them go? Are these thoughts that put us down and stir up fear and worry? For a good friend to ourselves, allowing the good friend to see these thoughts for what they are, to just let them go. We might have to dig quite deep to find our best friend, our own best friend, but he or she will be there, waiting. So in this stage, we're going to turn towards the part of us that is anxious or fearful, or maybe doesn't feel quite good enough at times, not quite up to what's expected by the world, not quite up to what's expected by ourselves, or what we think we should be like. So we might see this part of us as a small child. Small child that's just anxious, scared, not quite feeling confident enough. And we all have these kind of feelings, don't we? So if we can discover this small child within us, probably a lot of this small child comes from our childhood, from the things that happen to us. So if we can find this small child, can we hold its hand? Can we put our arm around him or her and hold them close? Can we love our small child, keep them safe, and reassure them, support them? Can we be a grown-up to our small child? And through all this help that we give it, can we help our small child to grow and to mature? Just holding the small child closely with love and affection. It's okay for this small child to be frightened or worried or feel not good enough. We're not trying to turn that off in any way. We're just trying to look after it, to look after our small child. So keeping hold of the small child's hand or keeping them close to us, we're going to meet our inner critic. So this is our inner voice that is quite harsh sometimes, perhaps, and perhaps even abusive. We sometimes have this voice in our minds that is not very kind to us, that constantly criticizes how we are in quite extreme ways sometimes. So we might think this critical voice is something we want to get rid of, or we might think it's something that doesn't care about us. But actually, this critical voice cares so much. It just cares such a lot, and it's frightened. Our critical voice is just scared that we might not get on in the world, that we might not be good enough, that we might not fit in. And so it constantly goes on at us to be better than we are, to be different to how we are, to reach impossible standards. So this critical voice really loves us, really means well, but is just deluded. Just can't see that all we need to do is to be relaxed and accept ourselves as we are. So maybe we can reassure our critical voice as well. In many ways, it's just like the small child. Can we soothe the critic within? When it complains, can we turn to it with love and kindness and tell it that it's okay? Can we learn to love our inner critic? And see that it too needs our love, needs our kindness, needs our reassurance and support. So just taking in the whole of ourselves again, this messy self that is just doing its best in the world, doing its best in a complex, difficult world, and just maybe knowing that we're never going to get it absolutely right. And that's almost an impossibility unless we become enlightened or awakened. And even the awakened person, even the Buddha, had to work on this messy sense of self before becoming the Buddha. In fact, it's one of the key ingredients to spiritual progress. Just really becoming who we are and accepting who we are. So can we be our own best friend? Can we be a grown-up to the small child within us? And can we look after our inner critic and help it to relax? Can we remember to be patient with ourselves and to know that we're doing our best? And to know that if we can do this, we will change, we will grow. And before we finish, perhaps we can just reflect that we're not alone in this. It's not just you or me. Every one of the 7.8 billion people in the world goes through exactly the same things. Whether they admit it or not, whether they even know it or not, we all need to be our own best friend. Every person in the world has an inner child that needs care and love. And every one of us has an inner critic. So can we have a sense of solidarity and compassion with all other beings in the world, following very similar journeys, encountering very similar feelings? Can we love ourselves and at the same time reach out to others who are just like us in so many ways? The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, "Sit here, eat." You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take the love letters down from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. Welcome to Showbit and Karen and Rose and Zara, who joined us later. Good to see you all. Good to see so many of you this morning. I just wanted to say that for those of you who would like to explore more about Buddhism and all the practical aspects of becoming happier and more content in our lives, we've got an introduction to Buddhism course beginning on the 6th of January at 7 o'clock till 9:15 in the evening, and it's for Wednesday evenings, so it's a fairly short course, and there's no charge. You just give us a donation of whatever you wish, but it's a very interesting course gives you some tools for being a little bit happier in your life and finding a way forward through the messiness and difficulties of life, particularly in the present time. So if you'd like to, you need to book on that, and you can do that on our website. So if you go to yorkbuddhistcentre.org and click on courses, you'll find it there. It's called Sailing the Worldly Winds. So I can definitely recommend that. That's where we all start, and it's a very useful start too. And you don't have to be a Buddhist or even want to be a Buddhist to do it. It's just useful, practical information. So take a look at that. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and then we finish for the holidays, and we start again on Monday the 4th, and we'll be here at 7 o'clock in the morning then. So I hope you're going to be able to make it then. But in the meantime, have a lovely day today. If you need some final shopping, our shop's open today from 1:30 till 5, and then we're closed over the holidays till the 7th of January, Thursday the 7th. So good to be with you. Thank you for joining me. It's just wonderful. Thank you. And take care, and lots of love to you all.